A masterpiece is not destroyed by a single blow. It is destroyed by the slow, silent erosion of its environment. A blade does not rust in a single night. A foundation does not crumble from one crack. A soul does not break from one bad day. The destruction happens in the microscopic gaps. It happens in the moments you're not paying attention. It happens while you're scrolling, while you're sleeping, while you're believing everything is fine. In the Stillness Smithy, we know that even the finest steel will rot if it is left in salt water. It doesn't scream while it decays. It doesn't send you warnings. It simply surrenders, layer by layer, until what was once strong becomes fragile. Our modern digital world is a sea of salt. We have been plunged into an environment designed to dissolve our sovereignty, to erode our sense of self, to wear down our clarity until we can no longer tell the difference between what we want and what we've been programmed to want. We aren't just using tools. We are living inside a machine that is feeding on our Honne, our true sound, and replacing it with a hollow echo, a performance, a mask that we didn't choose but somehow ended up wearing. The decay has started, and most of you are so busy polishing the surface that you haven't realized the core is already turning to dust. You think you're fine. You think you're in control. But the rot is deeper than you know. The first factor of decay is the comparison trap. Your ancestors saw maybe 50 people in their entire lives. Their world was small. Their reference points were limited. They measured themselves against their neighbors, their family, their village. You see 5,000 people before you finish your morning coffee. 5,000 curated lives, 5,000 highlight reels, 5,000 versions of success that make your reality feel small. You are comparing your Act 1 to someone else's grand finale. You are measuring the heat of your internal forge, the messy, difficult, unglamorous work you're doing in private, against the artificial glow of a stranger's perfectly edited life. You see their vacation. You don't see their debt. You see their promotion. You don't see their anxiety. You see their perfect relationship. You don't see the arguments they had the night before they posted that photo. And slowly, without even realizing it, you begin to feel like you're failing, like you're behind, like everyone else figured it out except you. This is the acid. It eats away at your contentment. It dissolves your gratitude. It makes you feel perpetually inadequate, not because you're actually failing, but because you're measuring yourself against an illusion. In the ancient Japanese arts, there is a concept called emma. It is the negative space, the silence between the notes, the pause between the hammer strikes, the breath between the words. Ma is where the soul breathes. It is where meaning lives. It is the space that allows you to hear your own thoughts, to feel your own feelings, to know your own truth. But social media has murdered the ma. There are no gaps. There is no silence. There is only a constant, high-velocity stream of content, comparison, and noise. A relentless flood of better than you, richer than you, happier than you, more successful than you. This digital acid eats away at your patience, your peace, your presence, until your iron becomes brittle and weak. Until you can no longer stand in the silence of your own life without feeling the ache of comparison. The second factor is the validation loop. Every notification, every comment, every moment someone acknowledges your existence online, it gives you a tiny hit of dopamine. It feels like warmth. It feels like connection. It feels like heat, but it is a synthetic fire. It does not forge you. It does not strengthen you. It only numbs you. It tricks your brain into believing you've accomplished something when all you've done has been seen. We have become addicts of the external nod. We have soldered our happiness, our sense of worth, our validation, our peace, to the opinions of people who do not even know our names. We check our phones first thing in the morning, not to see what we need to do, but to see if anyone noticed us, if anyone cared, if anyone validated our existence while we were asleep. And when the validation comes, we feel relief, a brief surge of, I matter. But it fades in minutes, and then we need another hit, another post, another check, another scroll. When you optimize your life for external validation, you stop being an artisan. You become a product. You stop asking, is this blade sharp? Is my life aligned? Am I becoming who I'm meant to be? And you start asking, will they approve? Will they think I'm successful? Will they think I'm happy? This is the solder that welds the mask to your skin. It makes the tatame, the public face, the performance, permanent. It buries the honne, the true sound, the real you, so deep that you can no longer hear the rhythm of your own heart. You forget what you actually want, what you actually feel, what you actually believe. Because you've been performing for so long, you've become the performance. We are in part 2 of the porcelain prison. And here is the hard truth. The decay is not your fault, but it is your responsibility. You did not design this system. You did not ask to be born into an era where your attention is the product and your insecurity is the profit model. But you are living in it. And if you do not take responsibility for protecting your soul, no one else will. You are living in an environment that wants you to be soft, distracted, and easily broken. It wants you to be a consumer of noise rather than a producer of stillness. It wants you scrolling, not building. It wants you comparing, not creating. It wants you performing, not becoming. To survive the 2026 landscape, to walk the path of mastery, to reclaim your Honne and break free from the porcelain prison, you must recognize the acid before it reaches the bone. You must reclaim the M.A. You must create space. You must protect the silence. You must build margins into your life where you are not being fed someone else's reality. You must kill the synthetic fire. You must stop chasing the dopamine hits that make you feel seen but leave you empty. You must return to the real fire, the one inside you, the one that has always been there, waiting for you to stop performing and start forging. Tonight, before you sleep, audit your digital forge. Not with judgment, not with shame, just with honesty. How much of your energy today was spent building a life? And how much was spent performing one? How much time did you spend in the MA, the silence, the space, the presence? And how much time did you spend in the noise? How much of your worth came from within? And how much came from the validation of strangers? The answers might sting. That's okay. The sting is the beginning of awareness. And awareness is the first step toward freedom. You are not broken. You are corroding. And corrosion can be stopped, but only if you pull yourself out of the salt water. One day, time will leave you. Make sure it leaves, knowing you weren't dissolved by the noise. Make sure it leaves, knowing you protected your soul. You reclaimed the silence. You refused to be eroded. Make sure it leaves, knowing you were acid-proof. This is part 2. The diagnosis is clear. In part 3, we begin the extraction. Welcome back to the Forge.